This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show. And I'm joined, of course, as always,
Shilo Sixx from Film Fantasy.
Absolutely. And we got a very special show for you today. We have the original survivor from Friday the 13th, the lovely and beautiful and talented Adrienne King. Welcome, Adrienne.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Nice to speak to you guys. It's been a long time coming.
Oh, this is a big honor for us. We're talking to the Adrienne King from Friday the 13th.
I'm going to tell you, Adrienne, the first Friday the 13th I ever saw was part 2, and I was way too young to see it. My cousins were kind of baited me into it, and that was the first time I seen you, and it was years later before I saw part 1, and I didn't know that Mrs. Voorhees was the killer.
It's terrible when you don't start from the beginning. You have to...
Yes, it's very terrible. You know, I'm in the same boat as him. I saw the third one first, and I think I saw the original somewhere around 2006 for the first time and thought, huh? That wasn't Jason? Okay, and it was a big surprise for me.
It can get very confusing if you don't start from part 1, can't it?
Yes.
It does. But I have to say, you know, I had a major crush on you when I first saw you.
Aww.
Yeah, and when I first saw you in part 1, my favorite shot in the movie was that close-up where you come out with the mop and bucket and you spun around, you had a gorgeous smile on your face, because you didn't smile at all in part 2.
Oh, no, part 2 was not a happy... I was not a happy camper in part 2.
No, I wouldn't think so after the opening sequences of it.
But yeah. Part 1, like you said, it was joyous. You know, when all the kids got together for the first week or two, we really had a good time on the set, at the camp. We had a lot of fun. We really, you know, what you see is what you get.
Where's that camp located? Is it New Jersey?
It's in Blairstown, New Jersey. Beautiful, beautiful area. It's right on the Delaware Water Gap, and I think it was about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive out of New York City.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite the first little shuttle when we drove up there. You know, with Harry Crosby and Kevin Bacon and Janine Taylor and the little group, you know, on this little minivan shuttle type of thing. We met at Columbus Circle, which is now One Gulf and Western Plaza, and drove to camp and got to know each other. So that was a memorable ride.
Did Harry Crosby give you any stories about Bing?
Oh, yeah, you know, he eventually, it was also the year that his sister was on Dallas and Who Shot JR. I'm sure you guys don't go back that far, but it was quite the monumental year.
Actually, I do. I'm actually 42 years old.
Oh, no.
I was 8 when Friday the 13th originally came
He's
out.
got a few years on me. I'm 30.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So
yeah.
You weren't even around for, when Jason took Manhattan?
Nope, I wasn't. Jason Takes Manhattan. That was 1989. I was around for that one. I was not around for the original.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I lost count of when they came out.
Well, Jason Takes Manhattan wasn't exactly my favorite one there. My favorite is the original.
Yeah, we're so sorry that Jason Takes Manhattan too.
And I think most of the Friday fans out there.
Yeah, you know, and then I think it moved on later on to Jason X.
That was the worst one.
Yeah, that was the worst one. My biggest question for you was, back in 2009, you were approached for the reboot of Friday the 13th. What exactly happened with that?
I have no clue. Betsy Palmer and I were all there. We were very excited because they had contacted her as well. And we went, ooh, finally, you know, we get to enjoy a little bit of the Friday fanfare.
Right.
And residual factor, which we kind of missed out the first round. We just thought, how much fun will this be, and how are they going to bring us back? I mean, we thought even if it was just in the diner scene at the beginning, you know, she could be the cook, or I could be the waitress, or, you know, we were, what do they have in store? And then a week later they go, we changed our minds. We don't want anyone from the original. And we were like, oh, what a shame.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. I know the original was made by Paramount. Was Paramount or New Line involved with the new one?
Okay, so the first, are you talking about the original?
The new one, the 2009 one. Was that New Line that threw the idea to the wolves?
You're asking the wrong person because I lost track of who owned it.
That's what I figured. Yeah, it got so far out there that everybody just lost track of it.
Convoluted there for a while. I think it's back in Paramount hands, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that would sound about right. But that's kind of a disappointment too. It could have made the remake better in a way, but well, Michael Bay produced it, so that says a lot.
Yeah, but what would have been nice, just because I get to see the fans at the conventions and get the feedback, is it would have been nice to have something for the original fans, just a little something, and then something for the new fans, because we're all about bringing in some new blood to Friday the 13th.
Of course.
But I think they forgot about the fan base, the dedicated fan base that would have loved to harken back, bring back a few of the...
Yeah, I agree. They seem to do that a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, isn't that the case?
Yes.
But even I've had, people throw out ideas, when you're at conventions and shows, and they said, well, bring back some of the other Jasons as, the retired camps that,
right.
The retired cops.
Yeah.
But, oh, well. Hopefully this time around, because Sean Cunningham, the director, and I, we did a couple of shows this year, and, of course, at the Q&As, our happy campers are always asking what's up, and he's like, we're going to get it right this time. We're truly looking for a good script, and so we have our fingers crossed. Let's hope it's a good one.
I heard they're rebooting it again. It's being set for a March 2016 release, and it's supposed to be in 3D and all that new jazz and whatnot.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
He was very close-mouthed about it. So the last time I heard is that the Paramount studio chiefs are looking for something really special. So I hope they find it.
I hope they do too, because Friday the 13th is a classic that should deserve to be remade with its original integrity.
I so agree with you. Especially this will be number 13, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
So therefore, I think it deserves a little more, effort.
Pizzazz.
So you did your own stunts during the film,
it's out of my hands, obviously.
Yes.
You did your own stunts during the film, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. It was, that first one, if your audience doesn't know, or it was before they, came around to the Friday the 13th world, that first one was a low-budget independent film.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. You can tell by looking at it. No, absolutely. But that's the beauty of the film, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think when you have too much money, you get lazy sometimes. And
yes.
Yeah, look at Michael Bay.
Exactly.
I'm guessing from a comment or two, we're not fans of...
No.
I'm not.
No, I'm not either. Nope, not at all. I think Platinum Dunes is a joke.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I wish they pay a little homage to the original, just the fan base that really cares about this franchise.
Yes.
I understand it being creative and all of that, but also just keep in mind your audience.
Yeah, exactly. And, the fan base is what grows the picture, what grows the franchise itself. And if you don't have that, or you lack on that, then it's gonna fall apart. And it's pretty much a given at this point.
Yeah, I just wish they would find a writer-director who truly loves or embraces the Friday the 13th films as a whole, and can find a common denominator, and perhaps put an interesting new spin on it. So we just hope.
What was it like working with Betsy Palmer?
It was wonderful. Like you said, we did our own stunts, because on the first one it was so low budget. No one even thought about having stunt people in there.
Yeah, she lost her head.
She was the consummate professional, and I'm sure you all know the backstory on Betsy. Is all she just wanted a car. She wanted a new car.
Yes.
She worked with like Jack Lemmon and whatnot, and like Mr. Roberts and stuff in the 50s.
Yeah, James Dean. she truly, if you look at her IMDb, she goes back in some quite incredible films, and just theatrically, her stage experience, it's quite amazing to have been partnered up with her. And I was blessed. Being a young actress, I'd been in the business already at that point in time for quite a long time, because I was a New York actress who really knew what she wanted early in life. And so my first real professional gig was at 8 years old, playing Melinda in Inherit the Wind for Hallmark Hall of Fame TV. And so I really got to work with some fabulous actors and director and producer on that, and in my teens. But it wasn't until I was fortunate enough to land Alice and work with Betsy that I really got to almost. It's like a boxing round. You get to box with somebody who's better than you. You get to play tennis with someone who's better than you. They bring your game up.
And you learn from that in the end.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Betsy did not hold back.
No, you can tell you can tell she was pretty passionate in the film too. When you first see her
around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell she was really passionate about the role too. When she appears in the car there and she comes out of there, she puts that face and goes, "Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees." You see the real passion behind her, that she really loved this character, and the big smile on her face. It's just amazing whenever you watch it.
Now,
people say, well, she, after the fact, they realized she did not embrace Mrs. Voorhees. She never thought anyone was going to see the movie. But at the same time, that didn't stop her from doing the ultimate best job she could as an actress. And that's why I think the film almost rests upon the believability that a woman could be that insane and in that love for her son that she's going to kill, and you believe it.
Well, I love that aspect about the film. I didn't think she was the killer at first. When she comes along, I didn't know she was the killer. And then when she starts going from
she goes nuts.
She kind of starts to go nuts in a slow way, and then you realize, wait, she's the killer. And then, and I love that aspect that she did that about it. She didn't come right out and be like, "I'm going to stab you." She left it kind of a mystery, and then you're wondering, is she? Oh, yeah, okay, I see her wheels turning.
Oh, yeah. And that was, for me, as an actress, just an amazing kind of phenomenal scene with her when you watch her, because I got to do that in real time. What you see on film, we didn't have a lot of lost footage or any lost footage. So basically, with having a low budget, you don't retake it unless you totally screw up. So what you see on screen is what I saw as an actress working off of her, and when she goes into that wackiness and I first realized that's her, I mean, my voice actually cracks from fear, in the scene.
Yes.
Because she is so powerful as an actress, and you go, oh my God, this is the killer.
You get that commandeering presence immediately when you see her, and it actually is frightening when you think about it too, but I love the fact that they spun that and made the killer a female, and she was basically looking out for her son, and there's the whole backstory, which is like, oh wow, okay, this ending just came full circle, and I didn't expect any of this, so let's see how it works.
Oh yeah, and that's why I think it was such a hit.
Yeah, it was. I think that's so too.
In 1980, it was unheard of that, number one, the killer was a woman, and a sweet woman at that.
Yeah.
And released very much around Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Grown up. And then in terms of when we get down to it, it's like, why would the final person be a woman? Because at that point, all females were victims.
Right.
So it was truly a first on so many levels.
Yeah, when you say females are the victims, look at Halloween. There's Jamie Lee Curtis being chased around in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Friday kind of broke a lot of new ground.
Oh, it sure did.
Unfortunately, Laurie Bartram's no longer with us. I was just wondering.
She's not. She was just a sweetheart. She was truly a lovely lady, and she was a dancer at the time. And I believe this was her first film role, and she was wonderful. She really was. But she ended up having a beautiful family of 5 children, but unfortunately passed away, I believe, over 5 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very quick cancer, as I understand it, and very sad because, needless to say, a lot of people, always ask about her, and she was fabulous.
Yeah, it was pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. What was Walt Gorney like?
Walt Gorney, oh my goodness! I only got to work with him, as you see, for a little bit of time there, but just enough time to know he was a strange dude.
I love Crazy Ralph. Should have had at least one more scene.
Oh, Crazy Ralph! I completely forgot about that guy.
I love it.
I love Crazy Ralph. It's got a death curse.
I know.
Every time I hear it.
I think that's another aspect of Friday the 13th, which was so wonderful, is the character actors that were cast in the film. The lady in the diner and the group of people in the first scene looking,
Yeah, and you got someone in there, too, that went on to be a successful actor. You got Kevin Bacon in there as well.
Yeah, he did a little something, didn't he, with his...
He did.
Did he have foot... was his feet loose on Friday the 13th?
His feet were loose, yes. Everything was kind of loose. We had a great time. I always say one of my fondest memories is when we were shooting the scene on the beach when Nettie Faines is drowning, and I'm up while they're setting it up. I'm sitting in the lifeguard stand, and I have my sketch pad in real life, because I'm an artist in real life that crosses over, into Alice's artistry. But I was sketching the young men as they were doing push-ups for the next. And it was so cute because everybody was so young, and it's not like they were buff, but they were, they just wanted to pump up those little muscles.
Camp counselor pumps.
The camp counselor pump. I love it.
There you go. That works.
Yeah,
Kevin Bacon with no shirt on there. I'm sure a lot of the ladies on the set of the film like that as well.
We didn't have a dull moment, and like I said, for the first couple of weeks, everything was joyous until everyone got killed, and then it was just down to Betsy and me.
Yeah, and then the ending kicked in.
Now that Kevin Bacon's...
Then it started getting cold, and we started shooting the day after Labor Day at the, in the beginning of September, and ended in the canoe scene. That was like the second to third week of October, which you can imagine as you see the leaves were changing. It was getting cold, and we didn't have money for wetsuits or anything, so we kind of braved the cold waters and got that scene.
Well, with Kevin Bacon being quite famous now, I bet you Jeanne Taylor, her name?
Janine
Taylor, okay. I bet she looks back thinking she got to do that love scene.
Yeah, Janine had some health issues also. Unfortunately, I saw her, I think it was 2011 June 2011. Oh, wow, time goes fast.
Time does fast.
Years ago, and she looked pretty good, and she enjoyed it. But she said she had some wonderful fond memories of the scene. And then I did an interview for Up Rocks, and it was funny because Kevin, who doesn't speak that much about the films, was actually interviewed for this 35th anniversary, where, can you believe, 35 years later?
Yeah.
And his memories of that scene, because, I got to actually watch when the arrow went through poor, what was his name? Jack's neck. And he was reminiscing in this article, and he said, yes, I do remember the actress in that scene was very, and he said, God, what was the word? Because it was so funny. It was like, you made love with this woman, supposedly. And she was very enthusiastic. That's what he said.
Wow.
It's interesting, too, because, Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover also gained fame from the final chapter, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people have bounced off of this film,
What's that?
A lot of a lot of people bounced off the film.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
it's one of those films that stands the test of time in a way that so much happened at the time that if you look back on it now, you realize it was kind of the pinnacle for a lot, really. I wouldn't say it's the original slasher film, but it's definitely one of those ones that were original enough to stand the test of time. You know, it being 1980, you look back on the film now and you realize it is a cult classic. It's still played everywhere as you look, and everybody still loves this movie. And it's not necessarily because of Jason. It just felt like a real horror film, you know?
Oh, yeah, and it's not, when you think about it, the first one has very little to do with Jason, except for the fact that he's the reason behind Mrs. Voorhees,
Yes.
you know, slashing her way through camp. But there's just, I think what it comes down to is it was the perfect storm. We had the timing, we had casting out of New York City theater, Barry Moss and Julie Hughes, who's Julie is still here. Barry passed last year, but we're consummate casting people. People know them in anywhere in the movie business, or especially in the theater business, because they knew every actor and what they could do. They're always going to shows, and so they chose from the real New York City actors who were there, you know, doing their bits in off Broadway, just to get know and studying with the best teachers they could study with. And I think between that, the special effects that Tom Savini brought to the table, the brilliant music that Harry Manfredini was able to score and give life to these characters, and then of course we have Sean Cunningham, who had the vision. And you know, the script, as Victor Miller will tell you, was, you know, kind of a little rip-off of this, a little rip-off of that and everything. So, and he kept writing, like that strip Monopoly scene that was written as we were shooting. So it's kind of like everything came together. It was one of those perfect storms.
You know something, when I first saw the original Friday the 13th, I was watching it with 2 or 3 other guys, and boy, they were so disappointed when that door blew open. They wanted to see it continue.
Oh, yes. I often tell the story where my mom wanted to see the movie, and before it was sold, Sean had a little screening set up for distributors to watch it, and so I asked him if my mom could join me, and we sat in. It's a small screening room, you know,
right.
A couple of rows, and so we're in the front, and the guys are in the back. And when that scene comes up, Strip Monopoly, she's like grabbing my arm, like, "Oh my God, please don't let it happen!" And the door opens, and she's like, "Whew." And then we get to, of course, the pseudo ending where Alice is in the canoe, and it's March in New York City, and it's cold, and she grabs her coat because the movie's over, so she thinks, and I'm like, "Shh, Mom, you know, just wait a second or two." And of course, Jason pops up, and boom, my mother jumps so far out of her seat and lets a scream out so loud that, genetically speaking, I finally knew where mine came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn around, and there's Sean shaking hands in the back. So I always talk about the fact that my mom's scream did not hurt selling that movie.
I think what I like most about the film is the fact that there's the ominous feel is one thing, but, you know, you wonder who's killing everybody, and then we find it at the end. But what I love is the fact that it's not Jason. We don't see him. We just hear about him, so it creates an ominous feel of who could this guy be? What is he like? What does he look like? All that stuff. We see the little flashback, but that's not all of it. And then we see the body at the end, and I really like that aspect of the film.
And you really got to say something, too. Harry Manfredini's score and the way they shot you out in the canoe and the shots of the water, it was very soothing until Jason pops up.
Yes.
That's it. He lulls you into this false sense of security, like everything's okay, everything's wonderful. And how could you do that without that brilliant score, like you say?
Very underrated score.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I always say he deserves an Academy Award for that one, I think. I thought his music in Friday the 13th is truly just bloody brilliant. It really, it took the horror film another cut above, I think.
I got to admit, though, I've seen the film on the big screen twice. I saw it in 2006, and then I saw it in 2009 when the remake came out there. They screened it at the local
I've
cinema
seen
here.
it too, yep.
And
Oh, wow. How fun was that?
oh,
yeah.
it was a blast. Like, to go back so many years and relive a classic like that.
I've seen it on the big screen once too.
And in 2006, when I watched it for the first time, I got to admit something. That sequence at the end where Jason comes out scared the hell out of me, and I shrieked in the theater.
Isn't that fabulous?
It made me shriek. I was watching it with, I think, 4 other people, and it was a sold-out show. It was packed in there, And all of a sudden, Jason comes out at the end, and I'm wondering, where is this guy? Is he going to show up? Whatever. I didn't expect a body to come out of the water like that, and I shrieked, and the whole theater started giggling and chuckling, and it scared the hell out of me, and it worked.
It's the best. You can always tell. Because I've seen it a few times on the big screen, and you can always tell the Friday virgins, we call them.
Yes.
What was Tom Savini like?
It's so wonderful, though. I remember sitting in the back row of the old Music Box Theater in Chicago with Betsy and Harry.
Okay.
As you can imagine, a midnight screening, and it's not like we've seen it a lot. We've seen it rarely on the big screen, but it was the first time I'd ever seen it with Betsy sitting next to me, and she kept nudging me, going, "Oh, it still holds up. Oh, that's so great." And it was so wonderful to see her finally embrace Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And enjoy that aspect of her career, because for a while she didn't,
Well, what was Tom Savini like?
Oh, he was a wild man.
I figured
he
would
did
be.
Maniac the same year too.
Yeah, and he also did the special effects from Dusk Till Dawn, too.
Oh, yes, and also, what was it, Night Riders and Dawn of the Dead,
Absolutely.
I believe?
Yeah, he did the remake. He actually directed the remake for Night of the Living Dead in 1990, I believe. But what was it like working with him?
He was incredible. He was just, a genius.
Oh, yes.
In the special effects department, and he was very generous. And I was invited as an artist. I'm always looking to see how things are created, and he allowed me into his chambers, and I get to see all sorts of great special effects being created, and it kind of, for me, took out the scare, because after The Exorcist, for me, I kind of stopped watching scary movies.
I think a lot of us did at that point.
Yeah, that one kind of got me.
Yeah, The Exorcist definitely got me. It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, and yet now when I watch it, it's like, really, those special effects aren't quite as...
Yeah, they're not quite up to par as what we see now.
Yeah, but after doing Friday the 13th and seeing how he created these things, now watching these horror movies, I kind of deconstruct them. It kind of takes the scares out a little bit, because it's like, ooh, that's not quite as good, and the CGI doesn't hold a candle to Savini as far as I'm concerned.
Not at all.
That's true.
That man is a genius when it comes to special effects. You can see it in all of his work.
I'm in your camp, yeah.
Yes, that man is an absolute genius. He's a fantastic actor, too.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen him in a film.
Okay, I got some advice for you. Watch The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Wonderful film.
He plays a non-horror role in a teen comedy.
I'm writing that down. Perks of playing
with Emma Watson.
Really?
Yeah, and he
Wonderful
plays a
film.
shop teacher, and it's actually a comedic role.
Yeah.
Well, something, I could see him playing that really well.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
This film is as wonderful as the title is.
Yeah.
Tom Savini makes me laugh. He really does. We were at a Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky once, and things got slow for him, so he started shooting rubber bands across the aisle.
Yeah, he seems like he'd have that kind of smart-assy vibe to him a little bit, eh?
Yeah. He's a wild and crazy, wonderful man.
So I have to talk about one of my favorite movies, and you were a part of it, Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
What was that like?
Oh, I was a part of every single dance scene and bar scene in there, which is hard to believe because it's hard to find me.
I finally found you.
Did you find me in the scene like
With Fran Drescher, that section?
I'm in every section, and the funny thing thing about it is you have to kind of freeze frame it because they had no continuity. I mean, I'm in one scene and I have like 3 different hairstyles, 2 different dresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it was hysterical. But the one scene where I do think people see they can find me is when his brother, the priest, is walking into the bar, and I'm like kind of standing against the bar, and I kind of mouth hello or hi or something silly.
Okay.
But that was before, that's when I was really struggling to get the rent paid back in the day, and so as an actress, you have to be able to do kind of everything. And I studied dancing since I was a kid, and I was a good dancer, and so when they had the auditions for disco, I was a bunch of us, we went to Studio 54 that night.
Oh, wow.
And we danced, and we didn't even go home to shower. We just got online. We were the first 25 people, if you can imagine, walking from Studio 54, and the auditions were right on Broadway in the 50s. I forget which dance place it was held at, but one of the known studios. And I was like the only blonde that was chosen in the first 25. It was so funny. But so a bunch of us good friends actually got the gig, and we danced for about 7 weeks on this little movie called Saturday Night. At the time, it wasn't called Saturday Night Fever. I even have a T-shirt somewhere that says Saturday Night from it, signed by John.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I heard he's a nice guy.
Yeah, what was it like working with John Travolta? I absolutely adored this man. He's one of my favorite actors. Everything you put him in, he always shines in it. I love the man.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction is one of my all-time favorites. I love Vincent Vega. But what was it like working with John?
He was a wonderful, very quiet young man at the time because he was going through some personal emotional trauma. His girlfriend or his fiancée at the time was actually, I believe she was dying of cancer.
Yeah, it's in the special features. If you watch the DVD to it, it talks all about it and everything.
Which I haven't done. I have to get that because that'd be very interesting to see. But he was very much to himself. But there were a couple of times where we got to chat and hang out in between takes, and he was so lovely and just so humble and so sweet and very talented. And needless to say, had a huge career ahead of him.
Yes, he seems like he has that good heart kind of nature. You see the character of Tony Manero, and he has every good intention. And you can see John puts a lot into that because of his personality, because of his role, because of who he is. You can see all that through the role, and it's wonderful.
Definitely, yeah. He was a very, very gentle heart. That's the way I would put it.
You also did hair, and I got to say, I like the fact you kept your hairstyle the same as Alice. Amy Steele, a part 2, it seems to kept her hair that way too, and it makes you guys look youthful, and I think that's good.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, the funny thing about Amy and I, because we're good friends too in real life.
We love Amy.
Oh,
yes.
We love Amy. Amy, what's not to love about Amy? And the funny thing is, in real life, she hung her shingle, and she's a therapist. In real life, like her, what she was doing in Friday the 13th Part 2, and here I am, an artist, and she came to visit me, and we drank Crystal Lake wine. So
I saw the pictures.
It's kind of crazy when real life, your screen life becomes your real life. And I've been toying with the idea only because every show I do, every other question is, why did they kill you off in Part 2? And I say, it's not. It was open-ended. Alice had a horrible dream, and she'd never be caught dead in that ugly green outfit. Trust me. And so Amy and I are thinking about doing a little YouTube video where Alice is in bed in that ugly green thing, tossing and turning, like we do it now. And I pick up the phone and I go, I wake up from this horrible nightmare, and I pick up the phone, and Dr. Ginny, I had that horrible dream again. And she goes, oh, Alice, have you been drinking that Crystal Lake wine?
Yeah.
And so we would put that to, a little bit of a end of story.
So you're telling me you're not going to do your own clothing line for girls with green overalls?
You know what?
I'd buy them.
fan of overalls. Maybe a little camping vest.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you got to clean out your fridge, you had a head of, what was that, lettuce?
I know.
Got to clean that out.
And then
Yeah.
dun dun dun, Jason makes his appearance.
You see now, Python, what I have to do is I have to expand upon this YouTube video and include the fact that Amy says, or Dr. Ginny says, as you have issues with cleanliness, clean out that fridge.
There you go.
Do you think Amy would come on here and talk to us sometime?
Oh, I'm sure if she has time, if she's so busy with her practice. Me, I'm just,
Well, we need therapy.
Yeah, I know. I just got like a nostalgia moment.
Me, I just paint. So you see, I could actually be in front of a canvas right now painting, and you wouldn't even know about it.
You see, she kicked Jason in the family jewels and got away with it.
She did too, actually. I just remembered that. She did.
Seriously, here's the thing that everyone asks me is, like, how did he find you? Did he look you up in the phone book, or did he, hail a cab? Or and it's like after part one, Alice would have done a little bit more than take an ice pick in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, really, Alice probably would have fought on with an ice pick in her face. But
That reminds me, you can see your Alice's corpse in the movie. If you look...
so they say. Now,
Well, in the where the head is, and you got Kirsten Baker's body laying there fresh, but you can see Alice's body propped up.
I don't remember that.
Oh, if you look closely, you can see it.
That's in part 2?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
that Jason actually carried the corpse to his shrine, and no one knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it got there somewhere, so I'd put all my money on Jason hauling the corpse to the shack.
And
All
speaking of...
right, if you say so.
But at the same time, I think it's left to be mysterious like that, and I think I like that angle.
But like I said, I saw... Yeah. I'm sorry.
I said it works for me.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I saw part 2 first, and I saw I was like 11 years old, and Kirsten Baker was in that, and that's the first time I'd seen a nude woman. And now, after seeing 3 killings, that was the scene where my mother rushed in to turn the television off.
Of course, right?
No sex education for us.
Oh, man. I feel sorry that you saw part 2 first.
Yeah, I saw part, I think it was part 3 or 4 first, actually. The ending, in a sort of sense. I think it was part 4. I saw part 4 first, and then I saw part 3, then part 1, and then part 2, so I'm all screwed up with it.
Oh, my gosh. Well, if you, I guess the way to do it is just do a little marathon 1 through 4.
That's what I did. After I reviewed the original picture in 2006, I turned around later that night and watched 2, 3, and 4 straight through. And okay, it made more sense,
All right. Well, that must have been an interesting evening.
Oh, it was.
Now, you also, like I said, you're an artist now, and I love that painting you did of you in the canoe. That is gorgeous. You got some talent there.
Yes, my first passion, well, I have 2 passions, 3 now, but fine art has always been part of me, and I actually got a scholarship to FIT in New York City in fine arts. And so that particular painting, Alice in Canoe, was because the fans had been asking to see some of my work that pertained to the movie, and lo and behold, when I did that one, I actually had a collector in London purchase it, and now my art is being collected around the world, which is just the most phenomenal thing to an artist to have happen. So, like I said, my paintings have been, just what's happened to my artwork is just a phenomenon to me. It's taken off, and I get to stay at home in my beautiful Southern Oregon art studio and just create beautiful paintings that cross over from Friday the 13th to all sorts of wonderful natural, because I live in the boonies, and
So
do we.
are very much like camp,
So, I know for years I know with you and with Amy, I tried to, this was pre-internet, to try to get autographed pictures of you two. And On your site, we can get autographed pictures of you. Is that right?
Yeah, here's the thing. For me to send to Canada, I have to fill out the forms, which I have no problems doing. But sometimes they come back to me because the Canadian officials, for some reason, are very particular. So it may take a little bit longer than you expect, but eventually things get there. And I've sent beautiful giclées to Canada, and have gotten and you know my fans, the collectors, have responded with beautiful pictures of the paintings that they've framed. And the other thing besides the photos on my website is the Friday the 13th poster with Sean Cunningham's original notes, 13 notes from the night that we shot that machete scene on the beach where Alice actually does Mrs. Voorhees in. Did you see that? Because
Yeah.
that, when we moved up here 10 years ago, I had all my Friday the 13th things all in this box, this dusty box that hadn't been opened since the movie. And inside it, when I opened it up, were all these continuity Polaroids. So if you go on my website, you can find those and check those out. They're very, very cool. And then what you can see are the original notes that Sean Cunningham, 1 through 13, which blew his mind, that I found 25 years later in this box, if you can believe it.
Wow.
So where would we write
my
to?
jewelry, I'm actually wearing one of my rings right now from the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Bloodstone ring my grandmother gave me as good luck before I did the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was in the box with my turquoise jewelry. And so when I go to the shows, and my cowboy boots, my original cowboy boots, and the notes were in my jeans. So it was a treasure trove of Friday the 13th memorabilia. And I made one poster for Sean and one for me. And Sean went crazy. It's the only piece of Friday the 13th, any kind of art that he has hanging up in his office. And he was the one who said, make a limited edition poster with these notes and let my fans, let the, 35 years of campers see it through my eyes. So now people are freeze framing 1 through 13 to watch it a little bit differently.
Wow.
So where would people write to get an autograph picture?
Oh, you can just go. We made it really simple and easy. I have a webmaster who's bloody brilliant. His name's Curtis.
Okay.
And he set up a website for me, and it's adrienneking.com.
Okay, yep, I've been there.
And if you don't know how to spell it, it kind of Google me and you'll
I
find
know
I
it.
got the
spell your
website up
name,
right
yeah.
now, Adrienne.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I've got the website up right now. I'm actually looking at the poster you're talking about there with all the notes on it, and this looks fantastic.
And those are Sean's coffee stains from that night.
Oh yeah, I see the coffee stains on it real good.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool. Wow, this is really nice website. Yeah, the Crystal Lake store.
Yeah, and it connects right to crystallakewines.com. So if you, I cannot send wine to Canada because the taxes are crazy.
Yes,
Oh my God.
I would figure that.
Yeah, but if you ever come down to Oregon, I'd be happy to pour you some Crystal Lake wine. It's going strong now, 5 years and counting.
You know what? I'd be up for that there maybe sometime next year. Keep in touch. That would be fantastic. We'd be up for that.
Absolutely. I do private tastings all the time. I'm very proud. I partnered up with the oldest and finest family-owned winery in Southern Oregon called Valley View Winery.
Valley View,
and
yep.
They are huge horror fans, and when we came here, I've always been, like, my third passion is wine, so I love my wines. And we came up with Crystal Lake Wines, and haven't spent one penny in advertising. It's all strictly word of mouth, and it's fine wine for a fraction of the price because Southern Oregon has no sales tax and little overhead. So the campers are enjoying it, and it's all strictly word of mouth that it's been going so strong.
Well, you know what? I never drank before until recently. I think it was Howard Stern said that red wine's good for your heart.
It is.
Yes,
So,
it is.
Yeah, and so I'll have about half a glass of it while I'm watching movies at home. Like I like the Camerlet Merlot and Josh Terra Rosa and.
Oh, well, you're going to love my names. I have Cabin A Sauvignon.
Wow,
yeah?
I like that. It's very classy.
And then I have Survivor's Syrah.
Oh, wow. This is
Nice.
very original and classy. I love this.
And the painting you're talking about is on my label.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I have that, and I changed the color of the canoe with the varietal. And then we just came out with a brand new one, and after 5 years, I changed up the label and used a graphics that I created where Alice is actually toasting in her canoe to the moon in Moonlight Merlot with a smile, you know.
Oh, yes.
And I just have the best time. Who would have ever thought? Friday the 13th, I say, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I'd agree with that statement. Absolutely. Like I said, it's one of those films that stood the test of time for the slasher genre, and there was, so much that we knew about going on. And now we know, from talking to you, we know so much more about the film that was going on. It really does stand the test of time as one of those horror films that really sticks out there and people can enjoy still to this day.
And that came out in 1980. That was when, Dressed to Kill, and Shining.
The autumn of 1979, and it came out 35 years ago this month.
Yeah,
Yes,
actually, I did
absolutely.
take a look at that yesterday. I was doing a little bit of research just as a background, for this, and I did see it was 35 years ago. Wow, time really does fly.
No kidding.
Yes.
And
Wow.
you still look as beautiful as you did back then.
Oh, absolutely.
Love you guys so much, Python and Shilo. You're my heroes.
I absolutely love this photo of you. You got such a wonderful smile on your face on your website for Welcome to Crystal Lake Wines here. You got such a wonderful smile on your face holding up the bottle of wine. You look really passionate about it. I absolutely love that.
Well, I'm having a great time, I'm truly having the best time. It's a full circle. When the movie came out, I had, some stalker problems, and I went into voiceovers. I went off to London and studied Shakespeare at the Royal Academy and came back to New York and realized I still had a little bit of anxiety about going on camera. So I spent 20 years doing wonderful work off camera, doing voiceovers and looping.
You did well. You were sleeping, almost famous.
I reconnected with my fans in '04 that I totally healed. And so it's a full circle. I love my fans. I find joy in everything I do related to Friday the 13th when I go to shows and and at conventions and I meet my happy campers.
I just noticed something here. The beautiful picture of you here holding the passionate wine bottle. Jason's in the background. I just noticed that there. I'm looking at it like, what the hell is... Oh, it's Jason.
Jason drinks now.
It's all about, a full circle. Jason and I now, we hang out and we have wine together.
Yeah, we watched your videos. I love your videos with the wine.
Fun. Now, that's my webmaster, Curtis, and his partner, Dallas. And on one of the shows, they actually snuck to the camp, Camp Novi Bosco, which is a Boy Scout camp, and you're not supposed to do, obviously, but they snuck in there with some empty Crystal Lake wine bottles and floated them and made this fabulous YouTube video, and then we green screened it with me when at one of the shows, I believe it was a Monster Mania in Baltimore, we green screened it in their hotel room and did the little bits where I'm kissing Tommy on the forehead, and it's like, my fans are so creative. I have so many Friday the 13th people who have gone on. Well, as I say, all the kids that grew up in the 80s are now the producers and directors and writers, and this little movie has spawned an incredible group of talented people.
Yeah, of course. Well, something like that is made so long ago in such a pivotal time. Obviously, something good is going to come out of that 35 years later, and there's so much more than, probably what was thought of at the time. Now it's huge.
Oh, yeah. We never, ever expected this puppy, as I say, this puppy.
No, of course not. You don't expect anything at that time, but then, something as old as it is gets better over time, or if, still stands that test of time. And there's Friday the 13th is definitely one of the big ones.
You still jumped out of your seat.
Yeah, I did. I didn't jump out of my seat, Adrienne. I shrieked. I shrieked, like Scream Bloody Murder shrieked, and everybody in the theater started giggling and looking, going, oh, look at the scared guy over there. And I'm sitting there like almost having a heart attack. And I knew the owner of the theater then. I looked, and after I was done watching the movie, I walked out and he looked at me and goes, get scared? And I looked and was like, you're real funny.
All I can do is say thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. But yeah, it worked, and on me.
And that was the second time we shot it that morning, by the way. So I'd already been pulled into that cold water, and so the fact that I did not anticipate or give it away, you make me very happy. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I did want to bring something up, Adrienne. You remember last year when the Ice Bucket Challenge was big?
Yeah.
I actually challenged you for something. It wasn't the Ice Bucket Challenge, but they had the whipping childhood cancer and Doubtfire face. One was for suicide prevention. One was for child cancer.
Anytime I see any of those, I try and get involved. I'm very proactive for if I can help in a cause. So I must have missed that, but
I challenged you for whipping childhood cancer. The whole idea is you nominate 7 people, and you take a pie in the face, and I nominated you.
I would have done that.
Yeah, like you could. I want to know if you do a video like that, and maybe do something where you cross with your wine in with it.
Here's the thing. I am by myself. If you come down here and videotape it or have somebody who's local videotape, I'm all for it. It's a matter of finding somebody to do that. If you set it up, I'm here.
Oh, we can't get down there.
Well, over time, sure. My company, Film Fantasy, we do film fantasy productions. We do videography and all that stuff. So that would be absolutely a dream.
Well, how about if we find a show convention close up to you guys in Canada? I'm overdue to get up there and say hello to my happy campers. Haven't been to Canada probably, it's been quite a while, and before I did conventions, so I'm overdue. So let's set up something and get all those videos done.
The Toronto International Film Festival comes up in September.
You got to come to New Brunswick.
Well, get the promoters to invite me, and I would be more than happy to get involved in whatever charity, especially a charity for cancer. I have quite a couple of survivors in the family and friends.
Yes,
I'm there for you guys.
We do a lot of charity work and events, and we try to promote ourselves with stuff like that because it's for a good cause.
I'm going to tell you something sad happened. Somebody from film criticism production, she told me that I'd have to nominate her, and then I nominated her, and then she turned around and said she wasn't going to do it.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, a little
really
bit. That
rude.
kind of, I'll stick up for Python in this one. He was pretty passionate about this, and that person really upset him on this, and you can kind of tell he was busted in about 4 pieces. It was something he really put his heart into, and that person busted him in about 4 pieces.
For you. If we can get that set up, whatever it takes, ice, a pie, whatever I can do.
Have you ever taken a pie in the face before?
No.
No.
Well, he hasn't, so have I. We both did this thing.
We would love to see you do a video of that.
Yeah, that would be great. We both did this here, and he slammed a pie in my face a little harder than expected.
No,
but that was the fun of it.
Did. I didn't
What
pie
kind
you.
of pie?
I got lemon meringue in the eyes.
Ooh, did that sting a little bit?
Oh no, I just licked it off my face.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
No, it's like a whipped cream pie kind of thing. Like we put everything into this because we saw the cause for it and thought, we're 2 guys that are very passionate about causes. We like to give and help out and stuff like that. And, we did it all summer. And really,
we nominated a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah, and they really didn't do anything with
listened.
us.
Like celebrities only listen to celebrities.
I guess so.
Here's the thing. Now, for instance, I feel like I'm pretty plugged into my Facebook people, and I didn't see that. So perhaps they didn't see,
That's what I'm thinking, It was just one of those things that kind of misfired a little bit. Nobody really saw it. But, if we did it again, I'm sure something would go.
With Facebook, I've got 3 pages, and there's... For me, it's like a full-time job. If I try to stay on top of it, but my husband says once I hire an assistant, it's all over because we're officially retired.
Well, if you get a chance, Adrienne, I can't guarantee you we could get down there, but if you get a chance, we would love it if you did a video where you take a pie in the face for this thing.
Python and Shilo, I'm putting this out to you guys. Seriously, if you're on Facebook, maybe write to some people that are local down here, who might shoot it for you.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, I absolutely love the idea. I have Film Fantasy on Facebook there. And, I had this really good idea here. If we were to shoot it, like our own, like all over again, the pie in the face kind of thing.
Actually, I could just redirect it to her.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I still got the video.
Yeah.
Well, do it on my email because when I tell you, you know, like I said, I have thousands and thousands and thousands, and I might miss a message or two. I try to keep up, but it's difficult at times.
Well, you know, if you get a chance, we would love to see a video like that.
Yeah,
that would be fun to see you do that.
You guys arrange it, and I'll take that pie.
And we'll put that into motion. Absolutely.
All right, and you know we'll. I know. Oh, I've got a good one. Okay. There is someone. We'll set this up on Facebook. There's somebody who is goodness. His name is Joe Zazzo. Joe, if you're listening, and he actually has horror cookbooks. Oh. And he gets recipes from people in the genre. Yeah. And I actually did a recipe for salmon, grilled salmon with my Moonlit Chardonnay that we're running low on. And he has a new one coming up where he asked me if I think did desserts. So we could do a pie and maybe, do the pie thing that you're talking about.
You're not afraid of a pie in the face, right?
No.
Oh, no, she's a trooper.
You've survived, Mrs. Voorhees.
Please, a pie in the face compared to being pulled into 38-degree water without a wetsuit?
Oh.
A piece of cake or piece of pie?
Yeah, it would be awesome to see you do this, especially after that other person I thought was so rude when she turned it down.
It was pretty rude.
Or if I come up, if we get to do a convention after we've finished our day of meet and greet, we'll go do a pie in the face and get it on video for you guys to play with. How's that?
That would be
fantastic.
What's the name of the guy that was the cookbook? What, are we supposed to get in touch with him?
Oh, his name is Joe Zazzo.
Zazzo?
Z-A-Z-O. He's an actor also. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's in Tales of Poe with me. I play the Queen of Dreams in Tales of Poe, Bart Mastronardi and Alan Rowe Kelly's. Have you heard about that one?
I've heard about it, yep.
Yeah. It's getting wonderful reviews. I don't think it's been in Canada yet. Maybe we can all come up there.
That would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to make this happen, guys.
I have major travel problems, but if you guys can get to New Brunswick.
Get us. Whoever is doing the show.
Oh, the Toronto International Film Festival.
Why don't we shoot for that?
That's why I say, like, when you do your videos, like you do your Crystal Lake, I don't know how you do those, but it would be cool to see you do one.
It would be. So we'll just have to find. We'll have to find a time when I've got somebody with a smartphone that can do a little video thing, and somebody who's just baked a fresh cream pie, and we'll find some good pairing wine, and we'll make it happen. How's that?
Well, there's also a place here where we live, and we live in Fredericton, New Brunswick. There's the exhibition grounds. They do all kinds of stuff there and conventions and all that, so that's a big possibility too.
The thing about having a website is that there's a way, there's contact info.
Yeah.
And my webmaster, like I said, he's a huge Friday fan, besides being a wonderful friend, just the greatest guy in the world. And I'm sure he would like to help out. So if anybody out there, is interested in getting this together, just, email my webmaster on my website.
Absolutely. I will do that for sure.
Well, Adrienne, we're heading down on the hour. And
I can't believe it. Boy, that went fast, huh?
I know, way too fast.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
You're an
We're
absolute
honored.
sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. It was my absolute pleasure. And my sweet new puppy, who's the sweetest little rescue. You said you always, you're about charities. We love the
absolutely.
Rescues. And then I'm giving a shout-out to my Sparrows Clubs up here, which is a local children's organization that I love. It's all about giving back, guys. So I'm here for you if I can do anything. And thank you for being such great happy campers.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy campers all the way, and you're my new hero.
Oh, right back at you guys. Right back at my python in Shilo.
That's right.
Yes. Well,
right,
thank you so much for talking to us. And I'll send you that video to you again.
I'd like to look at it. Now, you have my email.
Well, God bless you, Adrienne. Thank you so much. We still think you're beautiful. You're still my childhood crush.
Absolutely beautiful.
Lots to my heart. Thank you. I embrace that.
Oh, this was a big thing for us, and I'm so honored right now to be speaking to you. Like, I can't even find the words. It's just like running through my head. Like, wow, this was a huge experience for me, and I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. It was for me too, honestly.
Well, you have yourself a nice 4 hours back in time from us.
I will enjoy it for all of us.
All right. See you later, Adrienne.
Take care, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.